deal he normally does. We are really out in Phoenix, Arizona, actually Tempe to be correct. Chris Young and our special guest, Marvin Freeman. Mr. Freeman, Marvin, what's going on, buddy?
What's up, man? Hey, it's about time.
About time to have you on?
About time y'all got me on this thing, man.
I'll tell you what, it is about time.
Yes, sir.
And you notice he came on, the sunshine came out, right? Everywhere he goes, red
That's what
sun.
I bring, man.
So here's a bit of this. So HBCU alum, pitched in the big leagues, went to Jackson State, pitched in the Rockies a number of years. Give me some of your best moments before we dive into what we're doing here.
Well, the moment that stands out the most in my life and baseball is my first major league start. My daughter was born on the same day. So I was pitching against the 86 Mets. I was already nervous because they was getting ready to go to the World Series, got called up in September. And Darryl Strawberry and, Gary Carter and guys like that in the lineup. I was like, ooh. But my wife was at home due any day. And she didn't call me until after she had already been in labor, which happened to be in the fourth inning of the game. She had my daughter Paris, and I won that game. I pitched a one-hitter, jumped on the plane, flew back to Chicago, had a briefcase with nothing in it. I wanted to look, executive. And I felt like I was a big leaguer that day.
Things have changed because nowadays you just have paternity leave. You would never have to pitch that game.
No, man. Like she told me, you only get one big league first start, so go out there and make it happen. So she's been instrumental in my life up until this point, and hey, she's still keeping me rolling.
Fantastic. Let's dive in a little bit here of what you're here for and what we're doing. So, Chris, go ahead. You jump in.
Yeah, I mean, mainly you got so many great baseball stories and so much knowledge within the game, 10 years in the league. I mean, why was it important for you? First of all, I feel like we have to start there. Why was it important for you to come and share that knowledge with these young players?
Well, I have a son as well that played baseball. He pitched. He actually went to an HBCU as well. And I wanted to make sure that some of the things that I wasn't told coming up, trying to find out how to do what, how to be a major leaguer, how to be able to carry myself, how to prepare myself to pitch, a lot of guys weren't getting that. And I decided that would be my mission, was to give everything that I could to the next generation so they didn't have to jump over some of the same hurdles that I jumped over. They had a way of just stepping around those things and moving on to the next thing.
And also, I gotta admit, Marvin, you know how to keep up with the times now. If you follow this man on Instagram, it is one of the more entertaining follows that you can find, because he brings up old video of him pitching in the league, talks about his approach, does voiceover, and says what he's thinking in the moment. And we all, Harold, as hitters, we all have a book that we have, our little book that we say, man, that player's in the book, that pitcher's in the book, that pitcher's in the book. I feel like you take that approach and flip it for a pitcher to a hitter. So who are your most notable guys in the book, and maybe a good story to follow that up with?
Well, Fred McGriff just got inducted into the Hall of Fame. And I've been using video of him since I got on social media, because I've had a lot of success with old Fred. And, he always says, hey, I made the Hall of Fame. Now I guess them videos going to be coming back out again. I'm like, absolutely right. And so, I like to put up guys that were really, really good Hall of Famers, guys that if you got inducted into the Hall of Fame and I got some video of you fouling the ball off on me, that's all I'm showing. I'm not going to show the gapper that you hit off me or the moonshot. I have moonshot Monday sometimes where I put up a home run of a guy, but that's very rare. But, I like to put up guys that actually everyone still knows.
But I think that's beneficial, though, because you actually talk it out and talk about the approach you have, to where pitchers, young players, can follow you and they can see what the plan is and how going into an at-bat, there's always a plan. You're not just up there just slinging stuff and hoping you get it by the hitter.
Absolutely. I mean, most of the time you see so much stuff geared toward velocity. And I threw pretty hard when I came up as a rookie, but I found out real soon that a fastball alone was not going to get it done. Fastball alone going to get you sent home. And so I had to develop a slider. I got a lot.
Gonna get you sent home.
But I got a lot of them, man. I mean, just having guys understand that you got to have secondary pitches. You have to be able to get those over any time in the count, and that protects your fastball. And then you got to be able to locate that as well. So.
All right, let's end with this, because I know you got to have a story like this, because you played when we knocked people down.
Yes.
And guys would charge them out.
Yeah.
So you got to have a story that you had to knock somebody down or thought about somebody might charge you. Give me one.
Well, I've never had any fear of anybody charging me. I'm 6'7", 250, and you know, a baseball fight only gonna last 3 seconds.
Mound.
Yeah, well, I get off the mound because I don't want to get pushed back and be on the bottom of the pile. But I hit Darryl Strawberry one time in New York, and when I hit him, everybody in New York was like, you know, go get him, Straw, go get him. And every time when I hit someone, I kind of walk towards the umpire because I want to get a ball, one, and number two, I want the catcher to be close enough so he don't have to run out there and help grab a guy. So I hit Straw, and he's, you know, we go way back to when he played AA ball in Jackson, Mississippi, and he's looking out there, and, you know, we good friends, and I'm like, you either going to get on Sports Center or first base. And he started laughing and went on down to first base. But that's one that I remember all the time because it was funny. I hit him on the knee on a fastball that was almost a strike. I'm like, you diving, man. You hit yourself.
True pitcher.
I love it. True pitcher. Marvin, thanks for the time, man. We appreciate it. We're going to keep rolling here. But Matty V, I understand there is some news. So take us to that, because after you give us news, when we come back, we'll have Marquise Grissom join us out here. Matt, what you got, man?
Yeah, we'll get back to that in a moment, Harold, but there is news. A decade after winning a National League MVP in the Steel City, proving that you can go home again, Andrew McCutchen is returning to the Pirates. This from Jason Mackey, who covers the Bucks. A one-year deal, pending physical. One of the best installments of the MLB Network Presents series. Billy Martin's career notes, you know the resume. 6-time World Series champ, 5 as a player, 1 as a manager. 16 years as a big league skipper, resuscitated the Oakland A's after he left New York. His playing career was also very productive, over a decade on the field as a middle infielder. And his story told on MLB Network Presents 1 p.m. Saturday, the Billy Martin story. For now, we send it back out to Harold, CY, and special guest Marquise Grissom back at Tempe Diablo Stadium.
All right, Matty V, thank you, man. Yes, Marquise Grissom. What up, Grip?
I'm good, man.
Doing
How y'all
good.
doing?
Hey, first thing, I was looking through your notes. We'll dive into all this in a little bit. I'm the youngest of 8, and I'm looking here. You're the second youngest of 15?
15. 8
Holy
boys,
moly.
7 girls.
Is that right? What was that like growing up in that big of a family?
Well, it was, number one, it was a lot of love. You know, coming from 2 outstanding parents. My mom lived to be 93. My dad lived to be 97.
Wow.
And they raised 15 kids and 43 nieces and nephews.
That's incredible.
So I changed a lot of diapers when I was very, very young.
And that makes a lot of sense why you got so much patience with these youngsters you're growing and grooming now with all things that you're doing as well. So that plays on part of that. Let's dive into Marquise Grissom, the baseball player, for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously you jumped on the map with most people with the Atlanta Braves, playing center field, doing your thing out there. Take me through some of your development, Montreal, Atlanta, your development as a player.
Well, I think, first of all, a lot of credit has to go to Tommy Harper, you know, who's my mentor, my first coach in pro ball, and just kind of gave me the ins and outs, you know, of the game on the field and off the field, and kind of guided me through. And then I happened to run into Leon Lee a couple years later, who really took it to a whole nother level. So I was nurtured and coached and taught from an early age all the way up to pro ball with great instructor, great coaches, guys who loved the game and really cared about me.
You know, I said Atlanta's where people got to know you. In Montreal, you were obviously came to the big leagues. You were playing with Andre Dawson and all these guys, breaking in with them, crazy talent. But there wasn't much exposure. And so I say that because we have a lot of these African-American kids not getting exposure in today's game. Mm-hmm. Why is the Dream Series and what you're doing with the Marquise Grissom baseball, all that so important?
Well, it's all about giving back and creating opportunities. Giving these guys a platform, not only that, an opportunity to play the game and learn more about the game from professional instructors. Not only that, some great high school coaches and college coaches out there as well. So it takes a whole community to help and support these guys. And not only that, to give them the information so they can become the best player and the best version of themselves. That's what it's all about for me.
And for us, it's a lot of players. We always get together and everybody's trying to answer the question, which I think the question